King Charles urged to ignore Prince Harry's phone calls amid cancer battle. Author Daily Mail contributor Robert Hardman is the author of The Making of a King, King Charles III and the Modern Monarchy. King Charles III hasn't responded to Prince Harry's phone calls and letters, with good reason, one author claims. Robert Hardman, a Daily Mail contributor and author of The Making of a King, King Charles III and the Modern Monarchy, claimed to Fox News Digital that the monarch has been urged not to answer his younger son's messages and instead keep his stress levels down. In February, Buckingham Palace announced that the 75-year-old had been diagnosed with an undisclosed form of cancer. I know people keep saying, why doesn't he see Harry when he is in town? Why can't they patch things up? Hardman explained. But right now, there is a sense that we've just got to keep the king's stress levels down. We don't want him to have extra things to worry about. Let's get through this. There is a sense that now is probably not the time. If you listen to what Harry has said in his TV series, in his book, in interviews, there's a lot to unpack, Hardman shared. There are a lot of things he wants to get sorted out, to go through, to process. Right now, there's a sense that it's not the time. But I'm sure the king would like to normalize things. A Buckingham Palace spokesperson didn't immediately respond to Fox News Digital's request for comment. I know people keep saying, why doesn't he see Harry when he is in town? Why can't they patch things up? But right now, there is a sense that we've just got to keep the king's stress levels down. We don't want him to have extra things to worry about. Let's get through this. There is a sense that now is probably not the time. Robert Hardman, author of The Making of a King, King Charles III and the Modern Monarchy. In July, insiders told People magazine that Harry is preparing to appeal a court ruling that upheld the decision to deny him security. The Duke of Sussex wants to reinstate his security to allow more flexible visits to the UK for himself, his wife, and their 2 children. The sources claim that the issue plays a crucial role in Harry's ongoing estrangement from his father. Sources claim the monarch stopped taking his son's phone calls and hasn't responded to his letters. Harry lost his taxpayer-funded personal protective security after he gave up his status as a working member of the royal family in 2020. The Telegraph previously reported that when Harry was visiting the UK in May for the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games, he turned down an invitation from the king to stay at a royal residence. The Duke of Sussex reportedly turned down the offer because it did not come with any security arrangements, which, according to the Telegraph, would have meant staying in a location with public entrance and exit points and no police protection. Instead, Harry stayed at a hotel, as he had during previous visits. Harry had offered to personally pay for his police protection when in the UK, but was denied in court. A friend told People magazine he feels that as king, Charles could intervene. The issue has created a wall between father and son, with conversations shifting from frustration to complete silence from the king, the PAL claimed. Representatives for father and son didn't immediately respond to Fox News Digital's requests for comment at the time. On May 8th, Harry marked the milestone anniversary of the Invictus Games with a service of thanksgiving held at St. Paul's Cathedral. Charles and other senior royals attended a garden party at Buckingham Palace 2 miles away. A spokesperson for Harry confirmed to Fox News Digital that the king was too busy to meet with his son. Harry managed a discreet trip to his home country for the memorial service of his late uncle, Lord Robert Fellows, on August 29th. People magazine reported that Harry stayed with his uncle, Earl Charles Spencer, at Althorpe. In February, Harry did see his father while on a brief trip to the UK for a reported 45 minutes. Hardman told Fox News Digital that Charles would love to see his grandchildren, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, more often. Harry and his family reside in California. He loves seeing his grandchildren, said Hardman. People thought when he became king that he would have so much going on and he'd see less of them. But funny enough, since he's become king, he still has opportunities to see the young families. His time is sorted out all around the country, Hardman continued. Some of it is in London, some of it is in Highgrove, or he might be in Scotland. He also tries to spend at least a couple of nights a week at Windsor Castle. And because Prince William and Princess Catherine and the children live a 5-minute walk from the castle. So in a funny way, despite Charles taking on the top job, there are more opportunities for him to see his family. Hardman claimed that one role Charles takes seriously is that of grandfather. Having a relationship with his grandchildren is very important to him, said Hardman. There is a role there for the grandparent to act as a slightly more indulgent, benevolent advisor. And it's an important relationship for Queen Camilla too, said Hardman. She loves her children and grandchildren dearly. Even though she's now queen, she always makes time for them. She kept her own house that she had in Wiltshire. It's become her sanctuary where the children and grandchildren can go to be with her. No one has to call anyone Your Majesty. It's like turning back the clock to before she was a royal. Harry has had a strained relationship with his family since he and his wife quit royal duties in 2020. At the time, the couple said the unbearable intrusions and racist attitudes of the British press were what prompted them to step back as senior royals. The father of two has since detailed his rocky relationship with his family in TV interviews, a documentary, and his memoir, Spare. In March 2021, Harry, 40, told Oprah Winfrey in a televised interview that the king stopped taking his phone calls shortly before he and his wife made their royal exit. A friend of the couple claimed to People magazine that safety was always a primary concern, along with a lack of support from the palace. They didn't feel they had a choice, the pal told the outlet. The only option was to leave, for their sanity. I do think they thought if they got out of this bubble, there would be less focus on them. According to the outlet, some close to the palace hinted that Harry's memoir and interviews have compromised the family's trust in him. Meanwhile, those close to the prince argued that if he had proper security, he wouldn't need to speak publicly to help pay for it. If the issue over security is resolved, it's swords down, claimed the friend. Nothing would give Harry more happiness than being able to rekindle his bond with his father, the pal told the outlet. At the end of the day, you can't undo bloodlines. He's not asking his dad for a nicer house or nicer cars. He's asking because of the reality of the situation. He is at risk.